Alrighty, and before we continue with our commentary for today's Activated Morning program, just a reminder that today is Tuesday. Yes, only Tuesday, but it is Tuesday. Put a smile on your faces. All right. So for the Searchlight Midweek online paper, the headlines are as follows: 6 wounded in Paul's Avenue shooting. Shooting victim calls on police to restart 24-hour patrols. Bail denied for 5 in attempted robbery at South Rivers. Opposition Southern Grenadines MP gets emotional in his address to Parliament. Parliament approved supplementary 136 million for hurricane recovery. SVG to get income support from World Food Programme. Secret Graves companies donates $500,000 to disaster recovery efforts. One male among 176 School of Continuing Education graduates. Prime the Pump discusses employee theft. 2024 Richmond Park Netball Competition sees increase in teams participating. Searchlight journalism you can trust. Check us out online at searchlight.vc. Remember to check out our video stories on YouTube and download the free Searchlight app to access our e-paper and get breaking news and updates.
99.9 WEFM.
Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
I was while I was listening to this, I was thinking about Niggy Boy's performance at I think he was at an awards. I think can't remember what it was that I read as a title, but he was in silver, and he was just
it was reggae
it's some fest.
I think,
Yeah, and he was just like their vibes and saying I'm just thinking how he's able to perform and not see, and I think seeing for some people, like seeing crowd responses could discourage some people. Like if you up their vibes in and nobody like putting up their hands and what's not, I'm like just thinking sometimes it's better to not be. Hi?
I said he don't gotta worry about that.
I know, but sometimes it's better to not hear and see negative comments in life and be delulu.
And to block it out?
Yeah, so because it could really when you see what some people who are just downright miserable and ain't got nothing to do with you personally, you take that on. So it's better to just not be in that space.
But sometimes it's a projection as well on some person's own, what is happening within their own life. They just mean that they had to be miserable with everybody else.
Yeah.
Their misery likes company.
Yeah. Like you having a bad day, a bad life at home, and you come into the workplace and you take it out on everybody else. We ain't do nothing to you.
Gotta bring some holy water and dash
we
it
ain't do a
on
thing to you, Yeah. That's not
Fairs
a reference to
too.
WFM. I'm just talking generally.
Fairs too, though.
Nothing.
Fairs.
Yeah, people do project their fears onto others a lot, especially when I've noticed that in trying to give people advice, like you have a life-changing decision to make and you seek the advice of the persons you deem important in your life, and they tend to project their fears onto you as well. That happens.
So their advice is based on their own personal experiences.
And their own insecurities and all of that. Yeah.
But that's why you
look
have
at
to
us
be
changing the
careful.
topic again.
I'm gonna start charging you out for this.
I blame you because once you ask me, the conversation gone.
No, I just saw you in like your vibes in, you're meditating. So
yeah, I'm holding the vibes, and it's a whole conversation now, right?
Yeah. All right. So we have so we are in the talk to me segment. So good morning.
You gotta turn on the radio, please. Whatever you're listening to in the background, can you turn it down?
Good morning. Are you hearing me?
We're hearing you. Yeah.
Welcome back.
There was a feedback. Go ahead.
Sorry for whatever happened there just now. Yeah, so I'm happy. I'm happy to hear that report from that guy earlier on, based in who's on the ground in Union Island,
Mm-hmm.
about how things have been going. I heard a report from on another station from what's his name? Oh boy, I'm getting mixed up with his name. Bino, the guy Bino. He has
Terrence.
been very much, yeah. And I'm happy to hear things are going pretty fine, pretty okay, and so on. Because in a disaster, and I believe this happens for good reason, when sometimes we need these kinds to remind us that we all are one people. We say it glibly, or we say it, not being really serious about what we say sometimes, that we are our brother's keeper. This thing has come like what do you call it? Like a slang more or less. We just use these words, carefree and that sort of thing. But I don't know if I told you guys, when I have to refer to Beryl, my mother, the name Beryl, I find it so difficult to talk about this hurricane by the name of Beryl and all what took place and so on, because Beryl, people remember the name Beryl as somebody bad, and when I think of my mother, I don't want to call her name in this kind of thing. Somebody said something?
No, they didn't. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, so I'm happy. I'm happy to hear, because some people don't realize what others, feel in times of crisis and that sort of thing. I am happy that I'm alive and well, but I mean, I am using myself as an example that I may be able to drink or eat something, but I know when you're hungry, how you can feel, right? And I'm sure you guys know what it is to be hungry,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, man.
When you get food, you eat it up like a hog, so to speak. Right? If you're really hungry and desperate. So I'm just reaching out to those people there. I have an aunt who is like goes between Union and Panawan, but I'm happy I heard that she's all right. I was happy that one of my relatives who's a contractor was able to get down there and help her, assist her. Good morning to you, Tanti Princess. That's the youngest of that generation. My grandfather, my maternal grandfather, he had that last, swing in because he is my auntie, but I'm older than her. You know that way.
Yes,
Some
yes.
people never stop shooting, so to speak. And you must know about that too.
Okay.
So I just want to reach out to those people, and how can we stop politics anyhow? That's a bad word for me now,
Oh,
The
sure,
politics that we have to deal with, it's a bad word. Politics.
Okay.
All right. Have a good morning.
Thank you. You have a wonderful day too, Dave. Thank
Thank you,
you.
my dear.
All right.
All right, so we are in our Talk to Me segment. It is an interactive session. The number to call is 457-9997 if you wish to interact with us. As usual, we're giving you 10 seconds, or maybe 5 this time. Right?
Because we had like how many minutes? 5 minutes in?
Yeah, 5 seconds. Huh?
We 5 minutes in? Something
Yeah.
like that?
All right, 5 seconds up. All right, so we are going to jump into the topic. Millennials thriving or just surviving?
Hi, I would just like to say hi. I am Deanna, and I am a millennial.
Who is a millennial?
And what else? What else?
Me. Millennials, I remember the last year, I've been a millennial since the term millennial came into play. The last year for millennials is 96.
Right. So the
Yeah,
ages.
so anybody, I can't remember the starting year.
Yes. So the ages of a millennial, it ranges between 1981, year of birth, 1981 to 1996. So currently between 28 and 43 years of age. Right. That's the category for millennials.
I'm
So-
a millennial.
Are we thriving? Yes. I'm so happy to
I'm
actually be in a
millennials.
category with younger folks. Because there are
What
times
kind of
when I
joke
have
is
to,
this?
there are times when when you have to fill out these boxes like for service, etc. So I'm no longer like in the first or the second, like I end up in the third and fourth and that kind
I'm
of
beginning to hate those
thing.
boxes.
I'm not happy. I'm not, you know what? I shouldn't say I'm
Especially
not happy,
the
but,
box with marital status.
no, I cool with that. That one I cool with. That's
There's
what
no
bothered me.
space for being in a relationship. Oh, jokes. Forget about that. Let's swipe that out the line.
Yeah.
All right, back
Right.
to millennials.
So are we thriving or are we just surviving? So the topic came to me yesterday when I was looking at, I'm always looking at some kind of documentary, some kind of thing. I'm always
It's
looking
not
at.
crime this time.
No, it wasn't crime.
Oh,
No,
thank
actually,
you, Jesus.
it was actually tied to crime.
Oh, never mind.
It was a guy who had taken up a second job, and persons were wondering, well, how is it that he has this second job? Because he looks like he would have had money, or he should have had money.
Is the local person?
No,
Oh,
crime documentary local.
we have one. Or
We
two.
just have one, but yes,
We have two.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. So yeah. So when I looked at it, and I'm there saying, it's so hard for so many persons and many persons to get by. Now, persons will look at us as a generation who has been exposed to a lot of opportunities, right? Or a lot of technology that can advance us. We are exposed to the education revolution, right? Most of us, or many of us, have capitalized on that in terms of we have tertiary level education. So in that one regard, has it necessarily made our lives better? We hear persons complaining or commenting on, okay, so yes, I have this degree, but it's taken me forever to finish paying off this degree. Reason being is that we're not making the salaries that we thought we were going to be getting when we returned from studying,
They
right?
fool you.
Then there's another thing of persons wanting to own their own homes, persons wanting to own vehicles, but because of the salaries that you're making, you are unable to afford these things that you thought would have come quite easily to you after studying. I would say this thing. When I went to study, in my head, I said, all right, so when I come back, I'm going to build a house for my mother, then I'm going to build a house for me, and we'll be good.
You
I don't
built
know
out
where
a
that
matches
came
sticks.
from, right? Because had I known that it was actually going to take me this one lifetime to finish paying for one house, well, unless my circumstances change, right?
You win lotto, yes. Or
A
something.
splendid,
Splendid
daddy,
daddy.
splendid daddy,
You and I
right?
would, right?
Come on, yes.
Right. So that was the thing, so you kind of sold this particular dream that because you are in this era that things are going to be so much better for you.
Mhm.
But many persons are catching the royal, Many persons are catching the royal. So
But let me ask
The
this.
whole royal family.
we will dash them. But let me ask this though. Had you not gone that route, would you have been in a better or worse position?
I would still have been in a better position. But what it is for me, I think, is the things that I did or the way in which I spent my money after returning from study. And you and I would have had this conversation on air before about how it is that I was paying back my student loan at that time, right? Had I had gotten a little bit more of a financial education, now I'll be honest, right? I found a piece of paper the other day that they actually had told me, if you had paid this off, if you had paid this amount, how much years you would have finished paying it down?
Yeah.
But it's only after I done moved past that stage, I found the paper, right?
no.
So I was informed, but upon returning to study, it didn't sink in, But so yes, I am in a better position. And I'm not necessarily going to speak for everybody because I am trying, but I know that there are some persons who just have not been able to, let's say, they have better their lives as a result.
So back to the original question, are we thriving or surviving? I think this is such what is the word? Subjective? A subjective question that, like, without speaking to other people our ages, millennials, the responses might be just based on our own personal experiences, right? So if you are a millennial, you could just reach out to us and let us know if you are thriving or surviving. But like just like scanning through social media. I know a lot of people put up jokes and memes, but I just feel like they come from a place of seriousness.
Yeah.
And the fact that some of these little videos and skits and what's not get so much shares and likes and comments, it means that they're relatable to people.
Mm.
I just feel like a lot of things are just hoaxes and
That life is a hoax.
conspiracies.
I agree.
Because
It's
I
true,
don't understand
Christal.
certain things now.
It's true.
Like when you're young, you can't wait to become adults, but when you're adults, it's like taxes,
What's
bills.
happening now? Nobody
There's-
told me about this as a child. If I'd known, I wouldn't have grown up.
You want to grow up? I could go back to being a child. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know how, but yeah. So I want to feel like a good portion of millennials are just surviving.
Yes, correct.
But then that could also be because the ones that are sharing their experiences are the ones that are on social media. And the ones that are thriving are not necessarily talking or sharing
That's true.
their personal experiences.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that this topic is being discussed as we are nearing the end, because after this I'm just
Which
gonna-
end?
Of what? Diana.
oh,
This shift.
the shift.
Oh, the
So
shift.
that after I could just go home and wrap up in my bed and cry a little.
Oh,
See, now I'm triggered here.
Oh,
I'm not
no.
thriving. I'm not thriving. I'm surviving. I'm a
yeah.
millennial that's surviving. There's a lot of things, and the article that we had there mentioned a lot of the things that I also had as reasons that millennials, well, some of us are not thriving.
Mhm.
Unemployment, low paying jobs. You mentioned, you were talking a while ago about the house and the house payment, and that's such a reality for me too, because as a child you thought, you're gonna grow up, I'm gonna build a house for this. Oh my god, I didn't want to talk about this, and I'm gonna build a house for this person, and you get up and reality hits you like, will I even be able to build one?
Yeah.
Will I
Yeah.
even be able to afford one or half?
But you know, too,
Right?
sometimes the problems that we have now, it's because our foreparents were not in positions to, or did not make the decision to invest in land and like property. So if you grew up with no generational wealth, you are now in a position to have to invest in starting off
Start
that
from scratch.
generational wealth for yourself. And then there's inflation, right? Everybody else is looking for the same piece of land to build the same house. So the market, it's even harder now, because we have to deal with the inflation. We have to deal with looking out for our future. If you have children, you have to deal with that. Things are just mad expensive. Not only that, certain things are now that were luxury back then are now necessities now.
Yeah.
Communication,
A vehicle.
necessities now. So you find yourself in the position, shucks, I have to redivert the funds to this, because if I don't get this, then I can't get that. And if I can't get that, then I can't get my end goal of buying a
Yep.
piece of land.
Yep.
So like,
But the thing of it is that, so our parents' generation will look at us and say that we have so many more opportunities, right? Which is the truth. We are exposed to more. But I just look at it in a sense where each generation is going to face their own challenges, right?
naturally.
Is that is happening with us is that, so you spoke about parents not investing in property, etc. back then, right? For us to be able to say that we have an asset, so to make the
don't have
borrowing
to.
process, especially to get loans, etc., make it easier for us. But what it is that some parents could have only done back then was insist on us getting an education, because their parents before them did not insist on it. So it's almost as if we are the generation now that has to work with what we got from our parents, which in a sense may not have been anything tangible in a sense, but getting that education, and then we have to take it from there. So maybe it may not be a case where we are going to be the ones thriving within our generation, although we would love to, but maybe that spill-off effect may happen with our children if we choose to have children. Because another thing too is that many millennials are choosing, again, and to go back to the same conversation, not to have children because of the fact that they
Yeah.
are just surviving on
But
their
you
own.
know,
Okay, so community dateline
All right,
is going
sorry.
to come at 9:45. Let's take a we will take an extra 4 minutes and bring you community
Oh.
dateline at 9:45. Yeah.
Because you just see what
Oh, that's what you're
I don't
looking
have.
at?
Yeah, I'm looking
Okay.
at. Sorry about that.
Mhm.
But you know, I think with while it is difficult, right, within the confinements of how we were socialized and the opportunities that we have. And when I'm talking about this, I'm thinking back about Buju Banton's Untold Stories,
Mhm.
right? I don't know if you know that song, but very powerful song.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
yeah.
like Perseverance from
meditating
my song.
now, yeah.
Hey, you get my space.
Uh.
I find like it is possible to thrive
Mhm.
within the struggles,
Mhm.
but you kind of have to be in that mental space where you're free to think clearly. And it's
Mhm.
difficult to get in that space because you're always on the go, because life is just moving so swiftly, like
Mhm.
one day after the next, because you have to hustle, you have to get a second job to be able to afford this and that and all these necessities, and then you can get frustrated.
Mhm.
But you I don't know how it's possible, but I think that there is a way to kind of, like, let's say we're in this wheel and it's just spinning, there's a way to just like step out and thrive still. I don't know.
All right, so there's a comment that somebody has, and they're directing it to Deanna. You don't have to own it's fine. Deanna, most persons in the world are just surviving. That's just the way it is designed, not to feel bad. Now, the thing to tie in that into what Christal is saying, right? I think many times we're too hard on ourselves. And I found myself in that category as well, because you want to have certain things by a particular age. So I personally, I know watching society, right? I'm not a society looking at what society has, etc. But you have designated goals for yourself, let's say at a particular age, and you don't get them. What it is that I had to come to realize is, and this is why I'm talking to God and I said, God, I am legit doing my best. Right? This is for him to help me a little bit more, but legit, I'm doing my best. Right? So this is why it is for me that whenever it is I do or accomplish one thing, I do a happy dance. Right? Because this is one of the goals that I have accomplished. Now, do I have the full staircase in front of me? Have I gotten to the pinnacle of what it is, whatever it is that I want to achieve? The answer is no. But with each step that I've taken or with each thing that I've accomplished, I do a happy dance. Now, the thing of it is that you made the point of millennials, some millennials who are thriving, not necessarily being on social media. And the thing of it is that not everybody necessarily wants to advertise the accomplishments they have, right? But your friends around you, the circle around you, they will see what you have accomplished, and they will be the ones who are happy and clapping for you. And that is also a way for persons to motivate each other, because your circle, your village, they're supposed to be the motivating factor within your life. So for me, I try to tell people, don't beat up, right? Don't beat up on yourself, because the thing of it is that it's going to take time. If we had the
Easier
bag
said
of
than
money,
done.
if we had no, but Christal, if we had the bag of money, right, we would have done so much more. But would we have appreciated it?
Would we have done
But
more?
would we have? Well, it depends.
Some of us might still broke. Or even
From
broke
squandering the money. Yeah. But the thing of it is
Because
that not having allows you to appreciate what it means to then have.
That is
Not having, as in coming from not having, as in you grew up in a family that not.
yeah.
I talking
sometimes.
about
Yeah.
we. Oh.
Oh, because remember, this is a very open discussion, right? Sometimes it helps you to appreciate if you are a grateful person,
Mhm.
right? If it is you just want things just so that you can have a name and you just feed in your ego, then
To be out there.
you go
right.
up, pew, and it
Yeah.
comes straight back down.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I gotta tell 9:45.
okay.
Right. So so we could pick this up at another time.
Yeah.
Are you
I
thriving?
think we need to. I think we need to
surviving?
continue this discussion another time. It's
Let me not say where I stand personally here, because that's my business. We're going to come into that and come to mind. You're supposed to pick up the queue. Go on. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
All right. So this time we will jump right into today's community dateline.
Nothing else sounds as good as
WEFM, the clean, fresh sound.